Are we filming? Yes, we are. So welcome to another of my videos. Today I'm talking about something that should be dear to all our hearts, and that is paper-based productivity and how that relates to being able to jot down an idea, a thought, a date, or whatever, with the minimum amount of delay between the thought process and setting out that idea on paper. Now, I personally do use voice memos, and I use Apple's Notes app, and Apple's Reminders app, and Apple's calendar app. Very, very good. And what I do on here then appears on this computer here and this computer here and my laptop downstairs, and all very gratifying. And I love technology, but there is something about this stuff, paper, and being able to write it down on a piece of paper with a pen. It's so easy these days because paper is plentiful. It's relatively cheap compared to how much it cost 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 years ago. And so long as we're careful and make the most of that paper. I do use a lot of paper, but so long as we utilize that paper and don't just write one small thing and then don't and not use it again, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But why have I got all this disparate collection of different sizes of paper? Some is old diary pages that are no longer relevant, and then there's some cheap photocopying paper that I've cut down, and some mini size paper, some personal size paper. I've even got an old bit of A4 here that's been cut down because I wrote something at the bottom, and then that got shredded and thrown away, but I can still use this piece. Why have I got all this paper, different sizes, in my hands? And what do I do with this? How do I use this to capture ideas? Well, at the moment, and it could be any binder, but what I do in my office here, I have a binder that I use to capture ideas. So here we are. There's loads of ideas here, and I'm using a personal sized mechanism, if you like. But in here, I've got paper of every single size from A5 all the way down to mini. And what I'm doing is, when I'm out and about, I do capture ideas on mini sized paper. But I also, around the house, in the car sometimes, I have a stack of assorted paper by my bed, in the kitchen, not in the loo, not in the toilet, but I could have some. Just occasionally, I tend to have a shower, but nowadays it's nice to have a soak in the jacuzzi. No, I don't have a jacuzzi, but if I did, I would have a stack of paper by the jacuzzi, because I'm pontificating now, but I suspect that if I was a jacuzzi lover, then I would probably, if you're going to have an idea, it might well be in the jacuzzi. So you need to be able to write it down, and it's probably a good idea because you just know that if I had my phone in the jacuzzi, I would drop it in the jacuzzi. So I've got this paper strategically placed around the house, in the car, on my person as I'm out and about. Why am I doing that? Because you never know when you need to jot down an idea. Sometimes I've even woken up in the middle of the night and I have jotted down an idea, and then in the morning, this is something I can't figure out. In the morning, I'll wake up and I'll look and I've jotted down an idea, and I can't for the life of me remember waking up and jotting that idea. But the ideas sometimes are very good ideas. Well, I do say so myself, but I think they are. And had I not had I don't think that I personally would be able to use my phone and jot down an idea when I, from my dreams, if you like. But certainly I do seem to have this propensity to wake up in the middle of the night, jot something down without realising it, and then wake up in the morning and then, hey presto, the idea is there. So I've got all this paper, and my argument is that because the spacings for filofaxes, the actual ring spacings, mean that from an open format like this. So here is the insert from a personal size filofax, simply because it has perfect flatability, is a good thing. But I could just as easily fit all this paper into a personal size filofax. Now it might stick out here, stick out the bottom, stick out the top, but it doesn't matter. If you're going to jot down these ideas on different bits of paper, it is certainly possible to use a filofax to collate all this paper, assimilate it all in one binder, almost like your working binder. I call this my working binder. And I tend to produce a lot of ideas, because it's not just ideas for YouTube videos, but it could be remembering to pay the milk bill, who knows. But you can sit down, assemble your file, if you like, and then see what you've got to do. And then once you've done that, if there is any paper left, so if I just have one thing on here, I can then cross out with a marker pen or recut that paper into a smaller size and use it again and again and again. What I tend to do though is, if I have a piece of paper, these are old address inserts that have come from a binder I've bought. Who writes addresses down on paper these days? I mean, maybe one or two, but no one really uses these days. Certainly I don't. And I just cross off. If I've used a couple of lines, I'll just cross them off with a marker pen and then reuse all the way to the bottom. But it maximizes your ability to use paper effectively, have an enhanced chance of capturing that idea onto paper in the first place, and it gives you an opportunity like no other system to assimilate all this collection of ideas into one place. Either something like me where I've just got an insert with the rings, or perhaps a binder. Doesn't have to be a personalised binder. You could so long as the ring spacings are okay, you can do it. And so that is not my message. I'm just pointing out what I'm doing, because I think maybe some people would like to know what I'm doing. I would too sometimes, and it's just, I find it very, very therapeutic to be able to use a filofax in this way that I couldn't possibly begin to do if I was using a hardbound format, like a moleskin, for instance. I couldn't do it. It has to be insertable, detachable, and critically repositionable. And I think that is the fact that you can do this potentially with paper of different sizes as a working tool. It certainly ticks all the boxes for me. So a bit long-winded, but I hope you found some use, some benefit to this long rambling video. And if you didn't, then let me know. If you did, let me know. And if you did, please leave a like. But until my next video, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.